Good morning. Well, the Galactic Empire matters this morning because tonight, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, premieres nationwide.
Oh, yes. And our producer, Steven Brasley, makes his debut appearance, joined by members of the 501st Legion, all decked out in very appropriate stormtrooper costumes this morning. Steven, take it away.
Well, Brittany and Megan, I may need some help out here because look at me. I am surrounded by some of the baddest dudes in the galaxy, some stormtroopers, members of the Galactic Empire, here live in our studio right now. These are all members of the 501st Legion, one of the biggest fan organizations out there in the world. I want to go down the line really quick. Just say your names, what you're all dressed as, amazing costumes.
Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper?
I'm Cheyenne, and I'm an Imperial officer.
Quentin Lewis, Scout Trooper.
Ivory, I'm Captain Juno Eclipse.
Ika, Jawa.
Mark, Jawa.
Mary, Jawa.
So this is what you guys do. You are a fan organization that tries to make screen-accurate Star Wars costumes. That's right? Yeah, you can take off your helmet and just...
Make it a little easier to hear me. Yeah, so we're the 501st Legion. We're part of the New England Garrison, which is the local affiliate of the 501st Legion, which is an international worldwide organization. So we're located in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. And yeah, we make screen-accurate Star Wars costumes for all the bad guys. We're the bad guys. There's the Rebel Legion, which is the good guys, but 501st is all the baddies, and we make screen-accurate costumes for charity work, essentially.
And the name is, of course, a connection to the movies.
Yes, absolutely. 501st Legion was known as Vader's Fist. It was his personal stormtrooper detachment that he used.
And it's more than just the costumes. You guys do a whole lot of, as I understand, a lot of charity work around our area.
Yeah, absolutely. So we use our costumes as kind of a outlet for us to raise money for the Vermont Children's Hospital, Make-A-Wish Foundation, pretty much any organization that is doing good in the local community. We want to raise money for it.
Very, very cool. So I want to kind of like, I mentioned before we went on the air, these costumes are what impressed me so much about all of you. There's so much work and effort that goes into it. I dabble in, cosplay myself, admittedly, in my spare time, and this is a whole new level. What does it take to make something like, screen-accurate stormtrooper armor like what you're wearing?
So essentially, all the armor pieces, I can speak for the stormtrooper at least, are vacuum-formed ABS plastic. So essentially, you get a big sheet of plastic, you have a mold, you heat the plastic up, gets all loosey-goosey, it gets sucked over the mold, cools down, you cut out your piece, and you've got a piece of armor that you cut out. There's sewing that's involved. Really, it's kind of a jack of all trades. You got to know how to work with plastics, fabric, resins, all that kind of stuff goes into making one of these suits of armor.
Very cool. Now, what about something like what you're doing? This takes more sewing skill.
Yeah, so with these soft costumes, a lot of the times there are online vendors where you can purchase these from. These would then require a lot of alteration, though. So what I'm wearing right now had to be altered pretty significantly before I was able to wear it before it was screen accurate. And then, of course, all these little things here made with metal, made with acrylic pieces that are glued onto it. So a lot of little detail work that goes into it as well.
Getting creative. So we have about 30 seconds left. What are you guys excited for about tonight? Rogue One, a Star Wars story premiering.
I'm excited to get our first anthology film for Star Wars. I feel like it's really gritty, kind of a war film rather than the standard episodic that we're used to. I think it's going to be a pretty fun ride.
Very cool. So we'll have a few more members of the 501st coming up in just a little bit. Be sure to stay with us. It is sure going to feel like this. Make sure you bring your tauntaun wherever you go today. Brittany and Megan, they have no idea what I just said, but these guys do. Members of the 501st Legion are here with us this morning. We're celebrating the premiere of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, coming out in theaters tonight. I want to start by talking with this guy to my right here, Andrew Liptak from the 501st. You, sir, are in a costume that is brand new to this movie.
Yes, I am. This is a shore trooper. It is going to be one of the major characters in the film, one of the new stormtrooper variants.
Now, what does he do? What do we know about him from all the information that was released so far?
All we've seen is them running around shooting things so far.
And that's pretty much all you had for inspiration designing this costume. That's all you had for reference.
We had some certainly the screenshots from trailers and promotional videos, but we've also had time with the actual screen use costumes that have appeared at conventions. Lucasfilm has put them up on display, and people have taken pictures and measurements off of them and used that to design the fan-made suits.
Very, very cool. So once again, I'm going to go down the line. We just introduced Andrew. Let's meet all of our other members of the Galactic Empire here with us this time, starting with you, sir.
My name is Hayes Johnson, and I'm a reserve TIE pilot.
I'm Patrick Ormiston, and I'm a stormtrooper.
Nick Norton, TIE pilot. David Willard, Royal Guard.
Got to talk through those masks.
Brock Preston, also a TK.
Very cool. So I want to talk a little bit about the movie itself now. We're getting super excited. I know I'm going to see it hopefully this weekend. These guys are definitely going to be seeing it this weekend, if not tonight, right?
Yep, we'll be at Essex Cinemas in Essex for the premiere.
Yeah, and you actually were there last year as well for the premiere of Force Awakens.
That is correct.
And this is like a recurring thing you're going to start doing now every year when Disney releases a new Star Wars movie?
We're going to get Star Wars films up through 2020, and in addition to doing the premieres, we'll be doing other events throughout the year. So it's not just the premieres that we come out for, but we do a lot of charitable events and sort of promotional events. We'll be at Vermont Comic-Con, things like that.
Very, very cool. So for those who don't know what Rogue One is all about, how about you give me a quick synopsis?
Sure. What Rogue One is it is a prequel film to A New Hope. It takes place just before, and it's about the stormtroopers. It's about the rebel spies who steal the plans for the Death Star and get them into the hands of Princess Leia. And that's when A New Hope picks up, and then obviously there's some things that happen in that one that might be spoiling it if you haven't seen it yet.
If you haven't seen a movie from 1977, mind you. Now, for the most part, new cast, but there is actually a face that is very familiar to Star Wars who is making his return.
Darth Vader, yes, he'll be appearing at some point. There might be some other characters that I would be surprised if they pop up as well.
Very cool. So we have just about a minute left. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you're excited for tonight, when you're going to see it yourself, expectations, what you really want to see?
It'll be an experiment for Lucasfilm because it's not connected to the main saga series, but it's a little self-contained story that looks like it's got a lot of action. It looks like it has some great characters. So yeah, we're really excited to see it tonight, and probably see it a couple more times before it leaves theaters.
And we should mention, too, tomorrow on Local 44 Morning Brew at the box office, Champlain College professor Julia Swift is going to be here. She'll be doing her review of Star Wars Rogue One. We cannot wait to hear what she has to say. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Have fun tonight. We'll be right back.